Are variable annuities the best kept secret for lifetime income, or just the best kept sales pitch in a suit? Buckle up, because we're about to pull back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood financial products ever invented. And trust me, the truth is stranger than the brochure. Let's set the stage. Americans are sitting on roughly $40 trillion in retirement assets. And a growing wave of people retiring every single day are terrified of one thing above all else: outliving their money. Variable annuities were designed specifically to solve that fear. Yet somehow they've become the financial world's version of that weird relative nobody talks about at Thanksgiving. So what exactly is a variable annuity? And why does it make half of Wall Street cringe and the other half salivate? Think of it like a Swiss Army knife that someone left out in the rain. It's got a lot of tools, but you have to know which ones still work. Here's the engine under the hood. You hand an insurance company a lump sum. They invest it in sub-accounts that behave like mutual funds. And in exchange, they promise you can never fully run out of income for as long as you live. The variable part means your growth rides the market up, and yes, sometimes it rides it back down too. Now, a few years ago, when interest rates were near zero and the stock market was printing money like it had a personal vendetta against savings accounts, variable annuities looked almost glamorous. Financial magazines were calling them guaranteed income machines. Advisors were packaging them like gifts, and retirees were signing on dotted lines with the enthusiasm of someone who just discovered unlimited breadsticks. Then came inflation, rate hikes, market volatility, and a general sense that nothing is ever as simple as the glossy brochure suggests. And suddenly, that enthusiasm got a little quieter. Behavioral economists will tell you that loss aversion is twice as powerful as the joy of gain, which means the moment people saw those sub-account values dip, the psychological spiral began, even if the income guarantee was still perfectly intact. Here's the historical truth though. Variable annuities have been around since 1952, and they've survived every market cycle from the stagflation of the 1970s to the dot-com crash to 2008. Every single time, the people who understood what they actually owned, guaranteed lifetime income with market participation, slept better than those who panicked and surrendered their contracts at exactly the wrong moment. The most common misconception we need to demolish right now is that variable annuities are just glorified fees with a side of hope. And look, the fee criticism isn't entirely wrong, but it's wildly incomplete. Yes, mortality and expense charges, rider fees, and fund fees can stack up to 2 or even 3% annually. But you are paying for an insurance guarantee that no mutual fund, ETF, or savings account on earth will give you. Think of it this way. You don't complain that your car insurance is expensive in a year when you don't crash, because the point was never to crash, it was to be covered if you do. A variable annuity's living benefit rider is essentially crash insurance for your retirement income. And when you frame it that way, the fee conversation changes completely. The practical lesson history keeps handing us over and over is that the people who win with variable annuities are the ones who treat them as one piece of a diversified income strategy, not the whole puzzle. Keep enough liquid assets outside the annuity. Size your position relative to your total retirement picture, and never put in money you might need in the next 5 to 10 years, because surrender charges are real and they are not your friend. Discipline here means knowing your why before you sign anything. Are you buying this for the income guarantee, the death benefit, or the market participation? Because conflating all three into one blurry emotional decision is exactly how people end up unhappy with a product that was actually doing its job. Process beats conviction every single time in investing, and that truth applies triple when the product is this complex. Philosophically, the most liberating realization about variable annuities is that certainty about your baseline income actually frees you to take smarter risks elsewhere in your portfolio. When you know a floor exists, when you know that no matter what the market does, a check is coming, it changes your entire relationship with financial fear. And here's the quiet irony that almost nobody says out loud. The people most resistant to annuities are often the ones who would benefit most from the psychological comfort of a guaranteed income stream. We spend so much energy chasing returns that we forget the real enemy in retirement isn't low yield, it's panic-driven decisions made from a place of scarcity and fear. So whether variable annuities end up being your cornerstone strategy or just one thoughtful piece of a larger plan, the goal is always the same. Build something rational, sized correctly, and resilient enough that market noise doesn't make you do something you'll regret for a decade. Preparation isn't pessimism, it's the most optimistic thing you can do for your future self. And if you're ready to take that next step, whether it's exploring annuities, real estate investing, home contracting projects, or finding the right lenders to work with, check out our links in the description below and let's get you started.